Hello, welcome all. Today, for this Conspiracy Theories Tuesday, we're going to be talking about St. Patrick's. Let's try to get this lighting. There we go. Let's get that light out of there. There we go. Okay. So, for St. Patrick's Day conspiracy theory, we're going to be talking, okay, about leprechauns and other conspiracy theories. Okay. So, what are leprechauns? This is what I'm going to take a look here. I'm trying to call somebody. Okay, I'm going to call somebody. And we're going to talk about conspiracy theories. Okay? And talk. I'm calling him. I don't care. I'm going to call him.
Hey, Devin, what's up, bro?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing good.
Good, man. Are you able to talk?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. What's going on?
Are you busy?
Not really. I'm playing a game with some buddies, but I just hung up the call. I can call them back later.
Oh, you're playing a game.
Yeah, no worries. I'm not really doing anything important. What's going on, man?
Well, dude, I'm doing a live stream right now, and I wanted to see if you wanted to talk on the phone while I'm doing my live stream.
Hey,
So
that actually sounds kind of fun.
it sounds fun, right?
Yeah, it does. Well, what kind of live stream?
So we're talking about conspiracy theories.
Okay.
And since today is St. Patrick's Day, we're talking about what are leprechauns?
What are leprechauns?
Because today's St. Patrick's Day, you know.
Right.
What are leprechauns, you know? And I don't know. It's one of those ones where I don't know if anybody believes in them.
Right.
But at the same time, if people do believe in them, what reasons why they would think they're real? Kind of just stuff like that, you know.
When did you start a podcast, bro?
I've been doing it for like a couple months.
Really? How's it going?
Well, so I originally was just doing it for my business because, you know, I'm a mobile mechanic and I would just get on there and talk about cars and or like mechanic questions. But a couple weeks back, I started doing this Conspiracy Theory Tuesday. And it's been really kicking off. Every Tuesday, I do just like wacky theories, you know?
Huh. That is really interesting. What theories have you covered in the past?
Oh, we've covered aliens, Bigfoot, the Anunnaki, you know, stuff like that.
Dang, so these are like cryptids.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. All right. You know what? It's fine. My mom actually just messaged me and she wants to be on the podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, dude, hey, I do want to be on it sometime. I don't know if today works great just because I didn't know what you meant.
No, you're good.
I wondered if you needed something or you needed help with something. But I don't know if I'd be able to have a long podcast.
Right. Yeah.
Conversation just because I told my buddies I'd play with them tonight.
Yeah, man. I want you to play with your buddies.
That actually sounds super interesting, and I'd be so down to join.
Okay. Next week on Tuesday.
Okay, let me know what the conspiracy theory is because I want to do one that like I don't not one that I like believe, but one that I am like at least not as skeptical of as something like Leprechauns, you know, like something like
Leprechauns is pretty bad, to be honest.
No, Aliens is great. Aliens is great. I feel like that because Aliens I could see being real, 100%.
Okay.
Leprechauns, it's not that they're bad. It's just like I don't know if my position would be great with them because I don't like. I have no reason to believe they're real, but they're great for they're great for St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, it's just because it's St. Patrick's Day. That's it.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. Well, maybe next Tuesday.
Okay, let me know what your topic is beforehand and like what time you're going to be doing it. And right. I'm potentially really interested.
Normally it's like 10 p.m. and it's any topic of your choice.
Dang, that's pretty late. Do you
I could do 9.
No, I don't mind 10 at all.
Oh, okay.
I don't mind it at all. But do you record them? Like, do you video them? Like, how does this work?
So it's live streamed. So it does record it and then it uploads it to my channel afterwards.
Okay. That is okay. You need to send me your channel.
Okay, I will. Text
me your channel, and dude, I'm like outrageously down. You have no idea.
Cool, dude. Okay, we'll see you soon.
All right, I'll talk to you then, man. Hey, have fun tonight.
All right, we'll see you.
All right, bye-bye.
Goodbye. So my mom wants to be on the live stream. So we're gonna send it to her. I'm gonna go ahead and copy this and reply it to him. Hello. Oops. Thank you for calling Coast to Coast AM. How can I help you?
You said that we were going to talk and then you don't call me. You're like, let's call some other dude that I don't even know. Who is that?
Oh, that was an old coworker of mine. He might be on the channel next week.
Oh, what's his name?
His name is Reagan.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't have a lot of time because it's like really late and I work early in the morning. So,
well, it's only 10 o'clock.
Okay.
That's not late.
I guess you're right.
That's not late.
Not too late, but I did have some thoughts about, because it's St. Patrick's Day.
About leprechauns, right?
Well, yeah, but first, why do we celebrate St. Patrick's Day? Do you know what the actual day is about?
Isn't it like the day that St. Patrick came to Ireland to convert everybody from their pagan religion?
Kind of. So St. Patrick's Day is a day honoring St. Patrick.
Okay.
Who was apparently he was kidnapped by Irish raiders as a teenager and enslaved in Ireland.
Okay.
Yes.
So he was enslaved.
He did escape and he returned to his family and he entered the priesthood and he did come back to Ireland as a missionary. And he did, it is a religious type of a holiday. Yeah, and it's not about driving snakes out of Ireland. I don't know where that came from, but I guess that's
it's not about what now?
Driving snakes.
Oh, I see. Okay, driving snakes
out of Ireland. I guess the thing is that they are saying it's used to shillelagh to drive all the snakes out of Ireland, but I don't know. I don't think that's it. But
are there any snakes in Ireland?
sure there are now, but
There's snake species in Ireland right now.
maybe. I'm sure there are some.
Any viewers from Ireland, please comment
Yeah.
below if there's any
I mean-
snakes there.
Not directly from Ireland, but I think we do have ancestry that goes back.
Us?
Nice.
Well, yeah.
So leprechauns. So
Okay,
what do you want to
leprechauns.
talk about?
What
Yeah.
are they? And why would anybody believe in one if they aren't
So
really
leprechauns come from the Old Irish mythology, specifically tied to the fairy world.
real? Okay.
Traditionally, they're not the cute little redheaded dudes with the little green tuxedo and top hat. They were more like cave trolls, solitary, mischievous. Originally, they were like shoemakers, and they would guard their gold with their life. They're described as clever tricksters, like a Loki type, like just a trickster, mischievous, and you shouldn't trust them. They're just kind of shady.
Right.
But the idea that catching a leprechaun that leads to a pot of gold is like one of the most famous legends. But they almost always, now this is just one of the lores, they almost always outsmart humans. And humans can never catch them. Now, I don't know if you do this, but I know that Kellen and Cooper and Tyson and Zoe make leprechaun traps.
Oh, really?
And yes,
And no,
And
I
they are-
don't. I don't do that.
they are deadly. They're trying to kill the leprechaun. So Kellen had a trap where he hung a rock. Now, the leprechaun's supposed to be a little dude, right?
You're right. Yeah.
And he hung a rock. He suspended it like on Piper's high chair, and it was
Okay.
a rock. And then, like underneath it, he had all kinds of thumbtacks. And then he put the leprechaun bait. I think it's like, I don't know, gold maybe. I don't know what they used to be. But the idea was that the leprechaun comes and gets the bait, the rock falls on him, and kills him or maims him. But the leprechauns almost always outsmart the humans. They figure out the traps first, and then they don't lose their treasure, but they leave a little behind, kind of as a ha-ha, you didn't get me, but here, have this. I just thought that was funny. Tyson's was a literal death trap, too. He, stuck nails pointing up and then left, a little hole in the opening so that anything that fell down would be impaled
Right.
on the nail. I think
Okay.
that's hilarious.
So you're saying Brielle and Whitley both
Yes.
have their
They
kids
believe.
do this,
Yeah.
or what?
Yeah, every year they try to trap a leprechaun. They're believers. They believe in them.
So it's almost like that whole elf on the shelf thing, right?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I guess.
Where you have your
I
kids
know
believe.
that. Yeah, it's kind of just a fun thing for them to do to kind
Okay.
of get engaged with the holiday.
Right.
But
So what's the actual reason other than it was honoring St. Patrick? So
Yeah.
what is the actual celebration of the holiday itself? Like what's it for? Why do we celebrate it?
it's to honor St. Patrick. It's a feasting on his behalf because he was a missionary later sainted by the Catholic Church. He brought Catholicism to Ireland.
But why
And
do
so-
we celebrate that?
Why do we celebrate it? It's
Yeah.
just a religion. It's just a religious holiday. Like, we celebrate the saints.
It's a religious holiday.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this question.
Okay.
Why do people get drunk on St. Patrick's Day?
Because they're idiots. Anytime there's a reason to drink, idiots will drink.
Okay. All right.
So, I guess originally St. Patrick's Day falls. I don't know if this is an actual thing. Maybe something about Lent. The 40 days where you abstain from like pleasurable things, drinking, eating food.
Or is it because there's a cliche of Irish people just being drunks?
And that too. There are. I don't think it's more of a cliche than it is like
Fact.
a judgment or a prejudice.
It's fact.
Yeah, I know that Irish people do drink a lot, but that's just in our family. Maybe, I don't know.
Our family in what way?
Well, like
the Irish?
the bloodline of the Doyle clan. If you're related to a Doyle, you like your alcohol. A lot. And so I've heard.
I see.
Yep. It's Irish blood.
Okay.
But yeah, like, I'm not sure why it's a drunk holiday. It might be because of the Lent period where Christians traditionally avoid alcohol and indulgence. Maybe it's treated as a feast day, or I don't know if it's because Irish pubs are a cultural thing and a gathering place where people would celebrate St. Patrick's Day over time, and they just like to get drunk, and so that's what it is.
Okay.
Or if it's just marketing and commercialism, bar alcohol brands and certain events leading into the holiday promoting a big party. Things like green beer and green themed drinks, or just that Irish people are known as heavy drinkers. I don't know.
All right, so let me ask you this. What did you do to celebrate St. Patrick's Day?
What do I do?
Yes.
When my kids were little, I used to do the corned beef and cabbage and carrots and potato stew. Wearing green. I hadn't heard of trying to catch a leprechaun back in the day. I didn't know that was a thing. I definitely would have tried to catch a little critter, but I just never really leaned into the holidays that heavily, other than the stew I would make when the kids were little.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I know some people like to prank, kind of like another April Fool's Day, but they make it more leprechaun themed. Like green food coloring in the toilet. Green milk for breakfast.
Mm.
But what's interesting?
What?
I was looking into leprechauns and like why people like the leprechauns and why they are synonymous with the holidays. And I found some interesting stories.
Okay, let's hear them.
Well, the first one is the origins of leprechauns. And like I said before, long before the leprechauns were painted as cheerful little mascots, they were quite literally just almost monstrous.
Really?
Well, not monstrous, but they were like quiet, watchful, not meant to be followed. Like they were kind of dangerous. And old Irish lore, they belonged to a certain tribe. I couldn't pronounce it, but they call it OC or AOC. I wouldn't be able to say that because I don't speak the language and I'm butchering it. But supposedly it's a hidden race believed to live just outside of human sight. So think of fairies, think of trolls, things like that, sprites. Not in another world, but kind of like layered with ours. And people used to say that if you walk alone at dusk in the countryside of Ireland, you might hear the faint tappings of their little hammers, like metal on leather. And that sound meant that a leprechaun was close, repairing shoes or, because they're supposed to be cobblers, apparently. I just found this out tonight.
Okay.
But hearing it wasn't lucky. Unlike today, they say that like leprechauns are lucky and like the Irish. It meant you had wandered too close and you were close to finding something you weren't meant to find. And I guess the rule was simple. If you hear it, turn around and walk the other way. Don't follow it. Because someone who did follow it claimed that the sound started to move, always just a bit ahead of them, leading them deeper into the woods until the path was gone and they were hopelessly lost.
Wow. And they believed in leprechauns, though.
And some people truly do. Like, people truly believe that they actually exist. And I brought this up the other day when we were talking about conspiracy theories. Gnomes are being sighted here in Utah, like actual pointy-hatted garden gnomes, like little trolls running around Provo, Utah. And
really?
People are sighting them everywhere. And I'm not sure what it means, but it means something.
I would like one of these people who have seen one of these trolls or gnomes to call me on the podcast.
Yeah, that would be fun to talk about. But I mean, I know I've seen a lot about it more recently. But yeah,
gnomes.
Gnomes.
And so basically, one of these leprechauns, like a leprechaun, is like on the same realm as a fairy. It's mythical,
Mythical, but not mythical, because mythical would suggest they don't really exist.
So mystical.
Mystical, but not mythical, yeah, because some people actually truly believe that they see these things, like people that have I don't know what they call it, but they have fair sight. They could see fairies, and they could see they can see things that we can't,
Fairies.
Things that aren't there, that are there. Right. And the whole pot of gold story, I guess that the pot of gold, or follow the rainbow to a pot of gold, that is also part of the mystical aura of the leprechaun. And one of the oldest tales, I guess it was a farmer who managed to catch a leprechaun and forced him to reveal where his gold was buried. And the creature pointed to a tree, and the farmer, afraid that he'd lose the spot, tied a red ribbon around it and went to grab a shovel. And then when he came back, every field in the tree had a red ribbon, right? Because, again, leprechauns are tricksters. And then there are some versions of the story that are a little darker, suggesting that the man spent days digging, convinced he was close, collapsed from exhaustion, possibly died. But the thing that's unsettling about the trick is the implications that leprechauns don't just lie. They manipulate perception. They don't overpower you physically, but they confuse you slowly until reality itself feels unreliable. So they almost like drive you mad. Are you okay? What are you doing?
Oh, sorry. I'm just as you're talking, I'm fidgeting. That's all.
Yeah, just fidgeting.
I'm a fidgeter. Yeah, I'm sanding this turbo keychain because it had supports when I had to print it, and it left all these really ugly dimples.
So you're just keeping your hands busy, right?
Well, so I have ADHD, so I have to. I always have to move around, you know.
I heard that caffeine and some sort of is it theanine or something like that, or
ashwagandha.
That's supposed to help, but there have been some real sightings of these little critters. I read a story, and it said in 1989, a story came out of Carlingford. It's a small town in Ireland. And now this is just a story or claimed by this local man. I haven't looked into this to see if it's true or not, but the local man claimed he heard a high-pitched scream near the mountain. And what he found, he described as a tiny suit, bones, and gold coins nearby.
Wow.
And then later, the whole town kind of leaned into the story, even declaring that a protected area for leprechauns. So most people see it as like a tourism site, but it's just kind of a joke to them. But like this apparently this whole town of Carlingford believed that spot where they found the tiny bones and the tiny suit of coins nearby was an actual resting place of a little tiny leprechaun, and they kind of had that be a protected area for leprechauns, even though tourists kind of just laugh at that and think it's funny. But there have been hikers who've said they've been hiking. While they've been hiking, they feel like they're being watched. And others do report hearing the strange tapping noises, faint laughter, and nobody else is around, like they're all alone. But again, nothing's confirmed, nothing's proven. I haven't dug deep into this. But even these stories spread over time. You hear people and their encounters, kind of like with Bigfoot. They seem less like coincidence and more like a pattern of like coming across, like you're in Ireland, you're in like this field, and you hear this little twinkling laughter and little tapping, and it's interesting to think that we might live alongside little leprechauns.
Right. Yeah. So does anybody today believe in this, though, other than kids?
Well, no. Some people, some theorists suggest leprechauns, and they're not just like folklore. They're remnants of something older, almost like old gods. Not just spirits, but a form of intelligence that exists alongside of us, like, in a layered realm. Just outside of our reach. So in Celtic belief, there are thin places. So where the veil is thin, location where the boundaries between worlds is weaker, and people who step in these places sometimes are reported missing. They miss time. They report missing time, strange sounds, or feeling like something is watching them. So that coincides with a lot of the reports, that these people are saying, like they just kind of feel like they're eerily being watched. Like they don't understand why they have that. Somebody's looking at them feeling, but they do.
Right.
And there are even modern day accounts where people claim they caught a glimpse of something small, moving fast, just out of sight. And when they try to focus on it, there's nothing there. And so, it isn't just the thought that leprechauns are hiding gold. It's that they're, quietly watching you.
Right.
So I don't know. There's just.
So do you believe in leprechauns?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Wait, what?
Yes.
Why do you?
Why do I believe in leprechauns?
Yeah.
I believe in leprechauns because I believe in the mystical. I believe in, spirits. I believe in fairies. I believe in Bigfoot. I believe in aliens. I believe in all those things. That there's a reason why the stories exist.
So you're putting leprechauns on the same level as aliens and Bigfoot?
They might be. You never know. There could be big aliens. There could be small aliens. The parallel realm could be an alien planet that lives in a different dimension than us. And here we are living alongside of them. There's got to be portals or something that can cause these creatures and critters to cross over. Like if you think about it, there's fairies. People see fairies. Like there is evidence of people seeing fairies. Stories all over the place.
Fairies.
It's not. I don't think it's a conspiracy theory. I think that there are some facts to it.
So you believe in fairies, leprechauns. Do you believe in trolls?
Yes.
What kind of trolls?
The kind of trolls that you don't want to mess with. Like the kind of trolls that if you...
Because there's the little trolls, the ones that live under a bridge, and then there's big trolls.
No, I'm talking about the little trolls.
Okay.
The little ones, yeah. So there are stories, and I'm hearing this, like, you ask me if I believe, and then I go and I look this up, and countless stories of people who are alone in the woods. They're alone in the woods. They're biking, they're hiking, they're having a picnic. They're, out late night looking through their telescope, trying to look at the stars. And countless stories, people hearing the faint tip, 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 tap, 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 little hammer, and then little laughter. And it's like... Right. Either all of these people are hallucinating or they're all just liars. And why? Why? Just to keep spreading a story? I seem to remember somebody not too long ago was out on a late night adventure and a whole ass spaceship showed up and started chasing them. Like, people who tell these stories, there's a reason why they're telling them. And they may be fantastical and they may be hard to believe, but they're telling these stories for a reason. I believe that reason is because they're actually experiencing these things. Most of the time, anyway.
Well, I'll tell you what, that whole ass spaceship was indeed real.
Yeah. Well, I was with your dad, and we were driving. We were in Salt Lake somewhere. No, he was coming home from work, and he saw a spaceship late at night, and scared the crap out of him. And then I was driving with the two girls. We were coming home from just doing a little bit of Christmas shopping and just grabbing some last minute things. And where we lived, we kind of had to round a couple of bends, and there was this house, and there was a literal spaceship hovering. Couldn't be more than 10 feet above the house.
What did it
It
look
was
like?
huge. Well, I could see that your sisters were scared, so I told them it was Santa's sleigh, but it looked like a damn UFO.
So it was one of the saucer ones.
Kinda, yeah. It kind of looked like it was a saucer, but more tipped up. So instead of being flat, like a plate on a countertop, it was kind of tipped up. So it was like more elongated. But yeah.
So let's
Yeah,
say this piece of sandpaper is the saucer, right?
okay.
Okay, you can see it.
Yeah.
Here, let me get a new one.
Yeah, get a new one because that one's like crumpled.
Okay.
Ooh.
So you're saying, so this is a saucer, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say this is a flying saucer, right?
Yep.
You're saying it was like this.
Yes. Wait, more angled. So down again? Nope. That. Just like that.
Flat.
Flat but up.
So like that.
But up. Tilted up. More elongated. Yeah. Yep. Just like that.
Okay. You want to know something crazy?
Sure.
Bob Lazar. Do you know who that is?
I do. Yes.
He said when the spacecraft would fly away, it would angle itself vertical, almost completely vertical. So with an angle.
Yeah.
So what you're describing is real. What you're describing is how they have been witnessed flying. Because a lot of people think they would fly flat and straight, but no, they angle up. That's how they witnessed them flying, is they would angle up and fly.
Yeah, I mean, it scared me enough that, like, I raced home and told your dad about it, and then he got his ass in the car to go look, and by the time we went and looked, it was gone.
So you're saying it was 10 feet above the house?
Yeah.
And how big was it?
Well, it was not as big as I imagine it was about the same size as the house, but it wasn't a huge house. It was one of those smaller houses up. Do you know where? Do you know where the dog lives, the Great Dane?
Yeah.
Like literally across the street from that house.
Really? Like across the street? What way? Like on the other corner lot?
Okay. So, no. Do you remember the house that had all the garden gnomes and all the yard junk in it?
So the 63 Impala. They had a 63 Impala there. Well, their neighbor did.
Yes, that
Where like kind of by where Ruben lived. Ruben being my friend from kindergarten.
So, yes, but not quite that far over. Did Ruben live in the purple house?
I don't know. I can't remember. So do you know what happened? There was one Christmas where I flew my drone and it landed in the backyard of one of those houses. And I think it was the one directly across the street from Bella's house.
Oh, could have been, yeah.
Isn't that weird?
So, do you remember them building a house, like, just in, like, the parking lot between two houses? They just built a brand new house.
I don't. I don't remember that.
Well, anyway, it was that house, and it was quite literally the smallest house on that whole row of houses.
I'll have to
So,
look at the
it
Google
was-
Street View.
Yeah, look at the Google Street View. It was the street right after the bend. So there was you go up that hill and then you turn and then you have to
Oh,
turn again.
so it
and there's
wasn't-
that bend.
It wasn't. Okay, you know who I was thinking of when you just said that?
Who?
I was thinking of the
Aaron?
No, I was thinking of the corner house. The where that little dog lived, the Chihuahua looking thing, but it was big.
No.
Who was
No.
her? What was her name?
Emma.
Emma. I was thinking of Emma's house just now.
No, that was at the top of the hill. So if you were standing at the very top of the hill, do you remember where Hansi lived?
Yeah.
And then the house next to him had that dog Sandy.
I don't remember
She
that
was
dog.
She was a golden retriever.
I remember a house with a whole bunch of dryers and washing machines.
That's the house.
That's the house.
That's
Okay.
that's Sandy's house.
I don't
And then the
remember
house-
Sandy.
Okay, and then the house very next to them was the house I saw that. at.
Okay. So like basically behind Lulu's house.
Exactly behind Lulu's house. You're right.
Okay.
Yes. So if you were to be standing in Lulu's backyard, you would have looked up and seen it. Yes.
Wow. That's crazy.
It was very crazy. And I am telling you, it scared the life out of me. Like, I couldn't sleep that night. I didn't know what it was. And I didn't want to scare the girls because they were still kind of young, and they still believed in Santa. And I just, look, it's Santa.
I wish I would have been there to see that.
I wish you would have seen it too, because I know I saw it. I mean, maybe call Bella. I think you can add Bella to the call. Maybe she'll
Okay.
tell you what her memory
I'm
of it
going to
is.
call her right now. You ready?
Yeah, see if she's awake. I'm sure she is.
All right. I'm going to call her. Let's see. Where is she? B. I don't know.
Oh,
Okay. I'm calling her right
Your
now.
call has been forwarded to voicemail.
Straight to voicemail.
The person you're trying to reach is not available.
What?
Straight to voicemail.
oh, yeah.
But I wish I would have been there to see that. What color was it?
I couldn't make out a color if I tried.
Really?
No, I couldn't make out a color. It was dark, and it was not like it was lit up. It was more of a shadowy Hazel sneaking around behind you. She's so cute. It was more of a shadowy, just
So-
a big shape.
It was at night then.
Oh yeah, it was at night. Well, it was winter, right before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
We had done some last minute Christmas shopping, and it was dark. You know how dark it got in our neighborhood? Hi, pretty girl.
Hi.
What you doing up so late? It's 11 o'clock.
She's supposed to be in bed.
Hazel Ray.
But she decides to come down whenever she wants. Why aren't you
Hazel
sleeping?
Ray, it's time for bed.
I'm too scared.
She says, I'm too scared.
What are you scared about? Are you scared about the leprechauns?
Yeah.
You're scared of a leprechaun? Why?
Because they exist, Dad.
Do you believe in leprechauns? She does. Now, Hazel, what's your experience? What are leprechauns?
Probably a little midget. I vote with Remedy.
Let's just say she watched a movie called Leprechaun in the Hood. with me the
Yeah.
other day. But you have to remember, this is the kind of kid that wants to watch Chucky with me. Okay, well, honey, you need to get going to bed, okay? So that we can finish our podcast. Okay, I love
Finish
you.
our little conspiracy.
Okay, I love you, honey. Okay, good night. Sweet dreams. Okay, she's
Night night,
leaving.
baby girl. Be good.
She's leaving. Love you. Good
Pray
night.
your prayers.
Say your prayers. Okay. All
Night,
right.
night.
So you saw one above that house with all the washing machines.
Yep. Yep. Well, pretty much right next door to that. Yeah.
Next door to it.
Well, yeah. The house with all the washing machines is where. Is not where Lulu lived. That would be like the next door.
So Hansi?
Huh?
Hansi?
No. Okay, you're going the wrong way. Remember, I'm coming home, so I'm driving towards our house. Go
Right.
look at Google.
I am. I'm looking it up right now.
There was a damn house that we would always go to, and they had a huge ass yard, and she had all kinds of windmills. And
Okay, so on our street, who lived in between Lulu and Hansi? Was there a house there?
No, Lulu lived in our cul-de-sac.
I know, but I know, but
Hansi lived at the top of the hill.
oh yeah, you're right. There was the lady with 3 fingers that lived next to Lulu, right?
Yeah, she was a weirdo.
Okay, so
But I'm talking about the street above it, like where Bella the dog lived.
what?
Yes.
So not directly behind Lulu's house.
Okay, think about Lulu's house, okay? Think about where Lulu's house was.
I'm looking at it on the map. Okay, look. So you got, hang on. It's too bright. Too bright, hang on.
Go back.
I'm turning the brightness down. Okay. So you got Lulu's house right there, right?
Devin. Yes.
Okay. So then directly
Wait,
behind
where's Lulu's house? Wait, whoa.
brown roof.
Show me again.
Right there, right?
Okay, wait. You keep moving the phone. Okay. So you see where Lulu's house is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, draw a straight line from Lulu's house. Okay, that's Lulu's house. Okay, right. Do you see the house that has that house that kind of looks like a L? Not an L, but like a 90-degree angle
With the light gray roof.
with the light gray roof. The dark gray roof was built in her parking lot, in her driveway.
Okay. So I'm gonna center it. So that house.
Yes, the small, little, tiny house. Yes,
Okay.
that's the house it was at.
Okay. So not directly behind Lulu, but
Not directly behind her, but yes, behind her.
so
Anyway.
let me ask you this.
Sure.
Who the heck lived in that house right there?
Which one?
The one right next door to Lulu's house. Because
I don't know who lived there.
this house right here was where
Was
James
the
lived.
three-fingered lady. Yeah.
So who lived? Oh shoot, who lived in that house?
How if I know? I don't think I ever knew anybody that lived there. Like, I have no memory of. Was it that weird old guy?
This is what it looks like on the street view.
Yeah.
I don't even remember that house
guy.
existing.
It existed. You would go you would go through that house to get to.
There's Lulu's house,
Yeah.
and then there's that house.
Yeah.
And then there's, oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. No, I'm wrong. Okay. Because look, I was wrong. So I said that this house was James' house right there, right? But look on the Google Street View of what that house is.
What is that house?
That's the house where there's those two meth head guys lived that died.
Okay, no. Okay, so the house where the meth guys lived that died
Was this one?
was on our side of the street.
This one is.
No, honey, look.
Because look, right next door to them is where Peyton lived.
Yes, okay, but we're talking about the house at the top of the
I know.
cul-de-sac.
So this is the house.
Vintage.
This is the house where James lived.
No, that
Yes.
is not that. That is okay, Devin.
So where
There
did
was-
James live then?
Okay, there was a house between James and Lulu.
There's not.
was.
Look.
There was a house between James and Lulu.
Look. James and Lulu.
Okay, you gotta remember, I grew up.
Mandela effect right now.
Devin, I grew up in that neighborhood. The house where the meth head guys lived and the house where James lived were connected by a swimming pool. They
Oh, you're right. You're right. Who
Yeah.
lived here then? Who lived at that house?
I don't know.
Who lived there? I remember them. They had a waterfall in their backyard.
Yes, but growing up, it was the Rockwoods. I don't know who lived there after that. Like, just random people that we didn't know.
I remember they had a waterfall in their backyard.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And then this is Lulu's house right here.
Yes, not the yellow one. You're right. Yeah, the yellow one was not Lulu's house.
Okay, well I was
Lulu's house was not
getting
that
tripped
nice.
up because I was thinking, oh man, there's a house in the middle of these two that isn't there anymore. And so I was like, Mandela, you know?
No. Yeah. I told Bella to,
I remember them. They had a waterfall in their backyard.
wouldn't you guys always like go through that yard to get?
We
When
would
you would go
we would go
skate or
through
something?
James. We would go through James's backyard.
Okay.
We wouldn't go through there, but we have been back there
Okay.
because we were kids, and when we lived at that house, we actually went in everybody's backyard.
Yeah.
We've been in everyone's backyard on that street.
Okay. So I didn't know that those guys were meth heads, and I thought it was like a gas leak, like that they had carbon monoxide.
The two
poisoning.
guys that died?
Yeah, I didn't know they were meth heads.
No, they OD'd on meth or
That is
heroin.
so sad, dude. That is so.
It was either meth or I think it might have been heroin, to be honest.
I had
But
no idea.
Mom, think about that neighborhood though.
Yeah.
Just think about that neighborhood. Everybody in that neighborhood was on something. You know?
I wasn't.
I mean, hell, where Lulu lived, you remember what happened right at like the next people that moved out. You remember what happened to them, right?
Well, yeah, I had to clean up that mess.
Yeah, they immediately the people that moved in immediately after Lulu got busted for selling drugs.
Yeah.
And then me and Landon and you all had to clean up their mess because the landlord paid us to do it.
Yeah, they were
And
disgusting.
do you remember
people.
what happened at the very end?
Yeah, I got stiffed. He didn't pay me.
Yeah, and you know what the landlord did to pay me? He didn't pay me either, but guess what he said?
He gave you a wedge and said, "Here, I'm a chiropractor."
No, he said the minivan in the garage is yours. You can keep it. And then there was a bloody mattress in the minivan.
Oh my God.
And you remember what we did with it?
What?
We left it in the streets and we allowed the police to tow it away.
Oh, that's right.
So if I were to count that car as my first car, even though I never had a key, which I don't count it as my first car, it would have been a early 90s or late 80s Dodge Caravan.
Why the hell did you know what? That guy was a shady mother. Yeah, I freaking hate people like that. Do you know what I had to do in that house, Devin? I went in that house day one. I went in that house. Do you remember the toilet? How backed up with all kinds of crap? And it didn't have any water flowing through it. And I had to physically remove by hand all of the shit that was in there. And
Well,
I scrubbed that
I just
house.
remember that inside that house there was so many needles.
I scrubbed that house spotless clean. I scrubbed that house spotless clean, and he frickin' didn't pay me.
Well, you know, I just remember I was in junior high, and I remember the residents of that home. There was this boy that he was maybe like 16 or 17, and I
Yeah.
was walking home from school, and he could drive.
Yeah,
And
and he tried to hit you with the car.
No, he didn't. It's not that he tried to hit me with the car. I just remember he was driving past me, and he said, "What's up, asshole?" to me, and started laughing.
What a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I remember their last name, but
Really?
yeah.
I don't. I definitely don't.
Well, yeah, what do your kids do when they get in trouble? And you have to yell at them. What's their reaction to that?
Oh, the Criers.
Yeah.
I remember now. That's weird.
Yeah.
That's a weird
Yeah.
last name.
Yeah.
Well, I remember there was a girl that I went to school. She was in my grade, and she went to school with me.
Yeah.
And I kind of
Ashley.
I kind of thought she was cute. But then
Yeah.
I found out she was part of their family, and she lived with them.
And then you got the it.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that house was disgusting, dude. I remember that cleaning that house took the better part of a week.
So when Lulu lived there, was it the same landlord, or did Lulu own the house?
No, Lulu had the landlord. She did not own that place.
So it was the same landlord then.
It was the same landlord, yes.
Because I remember after we did that one, he hired us to do another house up by Orm Jr.
Yeah, he hired us to do that. Well, funny enough, that's the house where Whitley's friend Heaven lived that he had us clean out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Before Heaven lived there, though.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, and then I went to go get paid because he lived in those big houses back behind Smith. And I went to pick up my check. And you know what the guy had the audacity to tell me?
What?
I really appreciate your services, but I can't pay you what you think you deserve. $100 is all I was going to pay you for the job. And I'm like, dude, $100? Now, imagine I didn't have a job, and this was our income. This was me working outside of the home to help support my family, and he's going to give me $100 for a week and a half worth of work, cleaning the most disgusting, drug-riddled house that I've ever been in. I probably got meth poisoning cleaning that house.
Mm-hmm.
I cleaned the fridge. I scrubbed on my hands and knees. Do you remember I could barely move? My body hurt so bad I could barely move after I got done cleaning that house. And he gave me a wedge. I'm a chiropractor. That wedge is worth $180, he said.
It was a piece of foam.
I know.
So that's where you got the wedge.
That's where I got the wedge. Yep.
So
Yep,
he
and-
gave you a wedge, and then he gave me the van they left behind.
Yep. Yep. He gave me the
Freaking.
wedge and showed me how to use it, and that console and that wedge was worth $180, and that's why he justified not paying me. And I told him, I'm not cleaning for you anymore. I'm not.
Yeah.
And I never touched another one of his houses.
So what was he? A chiropractor?
He was a chiropractor and a property
Right.
owner.
Yeah. So he's a
And a
chiropractor,
landlord.
and he had a bunch of properties because of it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. He was a dick.
Okay. So what about the people that lived directly across the street from us? The house that's always, ever since I've been alive, abandoned.
So that house was actually a really, really, really sad story because the people that lived there, she was a single mom. She had 3 kids.
Mm-hmm.
She was a teenage mom when she had her first, and then had her last 2 when she was a little bit older. And she got a teaching job and she couldn't afford to make the house payment anymore. And so she sold it. And the person she sold it to was trying to flip it, but he lived in California. And so he got all gung-ho, came out, gutted it, like totally gutted it, tore down walls, like destroyed it, and then left. And then that was it. He just left.
So is he still a property owner?
The last I heard, he is, yes.
Because that house has been abandoned my entire life, from what I
That
remember.
house has been abandoned your entire life because I was still in high school. I was a senior in high school when they moved. Because I
Okay.
remember the kid that lived there was close to my age, just a little bit younger than me, and we worked together. Make sure you hit thumbs up.
So what kid?
His name was Chad, I think.
So like the woman's child?
Yes.
Okay.
He was my age. He was my age, and then he had a younger sister. And I think he was around my age, and he was kind of friends with Clinton because they would trade baseball cards with each other. And so he was just kind of like the little neighborhood kid that everybody kind of hung out with.
So somebody used to live there.
Somebody used to live there. It was a cute little family, a single mom and her older daughter and her 2 younger kids.
Okay.
And then I remember the little girl was in junior high going into high school when they moved, and he was around my age, so we would walk to school together sometimes if I didn't get to drive the car. Me and him would walk to school together, and we just kind of buddied around. I mean, we weren't like best buds, but we hung out sometimes. And I remember when they moved, I was really sad because I thought, oh damn, he's like my friend.
Oh, Granny says the Connors.
Huh?
The Connors?
No.
No?
No. His last name wasn't Connor.
Oh.
It was Chad, and I think her name was Janice. Or the sister's name was Janice.
Okay.
But Connors doesn't sound familiar to me.
Well, now there's a bunch of homeless people that live in there.
There are a bunch of homeless people that live in there, and
Squatters.
the yard set on fire, and all of his tools got stolen out.
Well, I'll tell you what happened. I remember I broke into there when I was in high school.
Yeah.
And coincidentally enough, we had stolen a shopping cart from PetSmart.
Yeah.
And we walked all the way to the house. And PetSmart was far away.
Right.
and we wanted to dispose of the shopping cart. So we took it to the backyard and
Yep.
we kicked down the back door. And guess what was in there?
The shopping cart.
There was like 3 other shopping carts back there in there.
So it could have been Connor because I think she had a different last name than our kids. I don't remember the mom. I just remember the kids.
So the mom's
They were
last
around
name
my
could have been
age.
Connor.
The mom's last name could have been Connor. I just don't remember her.
Okay.
I had one conversation with her, and I remember complimenting her nail polish because she had just went and got her nails done. It was super pretty. And I was like, oh my gosh, that looks so good.
Yeah.
That's a pretty color. I love it. And I was so impressed by her nails. And that was the one and only time I ever talked to that woman. Even though I grew up with her kids.
So Granny says you haven't liked my live yet, and her name was Rachel.
I don't remember that. It's very possible that could have been her name.
Yeah.
I just remember his name was Chad, and I think
So
the little girl's name was Janet.
now
Or
going back, was that the house that Roy got shot, or was it his own yard?
Roy got shot at Sarah's house in the
Oh,
backyard.
Sarah's house.
Before Sarah lived there, yeah.
Why did we all think it was that house?
Because he had traveled from his house through that backyard of the abandoned house into Sarah's house, and he was hiding behind a tree, and he had his bottle of liquor, and he was trying to show the cops that he didn't have a gun because the stupid dumbass lady that called the cops on him said he's got a gun, but he didn't. He never had a gun. He never had the damn gun.
I thought it was his wife that called the cops.
No, that is false information. She wasn't even there.
What the hell? So
son's
there was-
girlfriend.
So the
called
story
the
of
cops.
him arguing with his wife was fake?
That was fake.
What?
They were separated. They were working through a divorce. I think they were working through a divorce at that time.
So he was
She
just
wasn't there.
drinking in his
He was-
backyard.
He was depressed about it. He got drunk. He was threatening to commit suicide. The son's girlfriend got worried, called the cops and said, my father-in-law's drunk. He has a gun. He didn't have a gun in his hand, but he owned a gun. And so she said he has a gun and he's threatening to kill himself. So when the cops showed up, he ran. They think he's got the physical gun in his goddamn hand. But no, what she was saying is that he has a gun, like he owns a gun. But she didn't say that. She didn't say he owns a gun. She said he has a gun and he's threatening to kill himself. So when they show up and they find him, they shot him.
They just shot him dead.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Wow. So it was at Sarah's backyard.
Yep. Yep, that tree that's back there by that shed. I don't know if the shed was still there when Sarah lived there. But that tree still had the bullet hole, and the fence still had the ricochet hole.
We all thought that house was haunted because of Roy dying back there.
Mm-mm. No. If anybody haunts that house, it's the old lady that died there first.
There's an old lady that died there?
I don't know. Grandma might know. I don't know.
Well,
I
I
know.
remember, I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been Alec or Micah. But they said that they went back there and they saw a guy sawing off his own arm.
Alec and Micah are
Like a ghost.
they're very
A
very
ghost.
good
A ghost
storytellers.
sawing off his own arm.
They're very good storytellers. That never happened. Nobody sawed off their own arm.
Like a ghost doing it though. Like, you know how ghosts, like, sightings go?
Right, but nobody in that neighborhood sawed off their arm. to have it be like a trauma story that replays.
Okay.
So yeah.
Now,
Really good storytelling, though.
now there was a story, okay?
Mm-hmm.
There was the little red-headed man who would
Okay.
go into that house to work in there.
Yeah.
What happened to him?
So he was an adventurer, and he liked to go camping and hiking. And from what I remember being told, it was kind of the same situation that happened with your cousin.
Okay.
He fell from a height and like he got hit his head.
So what was his association with the house?
He was one of the neighbor's boyfriends.
But why was he at that house? He would always be at that house.
Because it was Margaret's boyfriend. Margaret.
But he
You
was
know.
working in there.
Well, because
Margaret didn't live there.
no, Margaret lived across the street, but they felt like they owned that house because they were told that if they fixed it up, that they could live in it for free and kind of have permission to squat. But the house was too messed up. Nobody ever was able to fix it to the point where it became livable.
Granny just let me know he was looking for gold and he got caved in on.
Yeah, something like that. He fell from a height, got caved in, rocks fell on him, something. He died tragically, and it was sad.
That's like a bunch of different things.
I know, but you know, when you hear the story being told and years pass and the person that told you the story was drunk, you know, you don't know what.
Well, who told you the story?
It was Felicia.
Who's that?
Huh?
Who's Felicia?
Margaret's daughter.
Oh.
Margaret's daughter.
Yeah, I knew he owned that green RV. And I remember I climbed up on, so the RV before it was green, I climbed on the RV to jump on the roof of the abandoned house.
Yeah.
And I remember Margaret came out and yelled at me like no other.
Yeah, she liked to do that. So that RV originally was Roy's. And
Really?
they had parked it there. And then, yeah, and then he bought it off of Roy. And then he was living in it for a minute.
So if you remember, the neighbors right next door, I don't know if it was Sean or Bart, but they ended up buying it from him or just from Margaret. Do you remember that?
I do.
And when
I
it
do.
turned green, it wasn't until they owned it.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah. So that went through three owners in our neighborhood.
That went
Yeah.
through 3 neighbors. Yeah.
So when Roy originally moved in to the neighborhood, he lived in the trailer and his sister-in-law was renting the house. And then she got kicked out and they bought the house. They were able to buy the house, and so it became the Harriel house. And then if you'll remember that the sister-in-law that used to live there would come back and she would bring her kid, and her kid didn't have any arms or legs, and he would just bounce around.
Oh, yes. I remember that kid.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, he
kid was
bounced around on his
so
bum.
mean.
Yeah, had no arms or legs, and he just was the happiest kid bouncing around in his.
I think
tiny
that
bike.
kid was so mean because he has been made fun of.
I'm sure he was so mean because he was made fun of. I'm sure.
But
that
as
it
kids,
had
we weren't
everything
making
to do
fun
with
of
that.
him.
No, I'm glad you guys didn't make fun of
And
him. That would be
he
rude.
would make fun of us.
Well, yeah.
Whoa.
I mean-
Whoa, grandma's talking about a guy with no face.
What?
Yeah, I don't remember a guy with no face.
What is she saying?
She said, "You remember the guy with no face?"
Ask her if it's because he blew it off with the shotgun.
Well, I mean, I know I remember that guy, but I don't remember a guy that actually had no face that was still alive.
No, there was a guy in our neighborhood that tried to commit suicide, and he attempted to blow his face off with a shotgun, and he survived. And
Really? There was a guy
Yeah.
that survived it?
he survived it, and he blew his whole lower jaw completely off. So he just had the upper jaw, but then he had the skin
So
still.
he had no face.
Pretty much had no face. Yep.
Wow.
But I don't know if that's who she's talking about.
So she said he would go visit the Connor lady and his face was all caved in. So I don't remember that. I remember hearing about a guy who had done that, but he died and they found brains on the sidewalk.
Okay, so are you talking about in our neighborhood?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Felicia's stepdad.
Yeah. That's what I thought what you were just talking about.
No. No, this guy, he lived around our neighborhood. I don't remember him going to visit the Connor lady, but he was like part of our little community. I would always run into him at Kmart. Like whenever I'd go to Kmart, I'd see him and his mom there. And that was way back when Kmart had a cafeteria that you could go and like get a tray and like get food like it was a restaurant, but it was like a cafeteria.
Mhm.
And I remember my Aunt Karen worked there, and that was the very, very, very first time I ever saw him. And
Right.
I remember I just felt so bad for him, like so bad. Like,
Wow. So there was a lot of different characters in that neighborhood.
there was a lot of different characters in that neighborhood. Yeah. I mean, I could tell you stories like the story of us sleeping out in the neighbor's house, getting raided by SWAT and having the SWAT team come and infiltrate our yard and telling us to get in the house.
Okay, and so you know that one house next door to the Siddles house that was always a Native American family that lived there?
Yes, I do remember that.
Granny is talking about an actor that lived there.
Oh my God. You know what? She calls him the actor because he was phony baloney, but he was not a real actor. He was just a phony, scuzzy, creepy guy. And
Okay.
she nicknamed him the actor because he was so full of shit. But he wasn't an actor. He was actually, if I'm going to be honest, probably molesting his children
Yikes.
and being very abusive and being just, he was the creepiest, most disgusting human being I've ever met, and I felt so bad. I remember his kids, their names were Stormy and Angel, and I remember those little girls, I just knew I just knew something was wrong with them, that there was some deep abuse happening in that house. And
She said they left a baby in the bathtub.
Well, so this guy, the dad, he was the dad, had a daughter who was 14 years old. And she had gotten pregnant and had a baby and had this little boy. And he was maybe 10 months old. And she had put him in the bathtub and then ran across the street to bum a smoke from the neighbor. And they got to chit-chatting, and she left the baby in the tub, and he nearly died.
Well, and you remember who lived right next door.
Yeah.
So if there was something not good happening there, maybe he was in cahoots with that guy.
Maybe.
Because were they still there? The Duberos?
I don't think they were there yet. No.
Oh, okay.
No, they weren't there yet, but
Well, it's getting late, and you need to get going to bed, and I gotta get going to bed. So I gotta go to the bathroom. So let's just call it a night.
all right. Well, sorry we got so off topic talking about the neighborhood, but yeah.
It's all good. Okay.
Yeah, I'll let you get. All right.
All
Have
right.
a good night. Bye.
Okay. Good night. Bye. Let's see.